Okay, here I'm at Koch Foods, and there's the blue building up, steel blue building up there. I'm traveling. I came back by Koch Foods the other day, and I noticed this. Not a bad thing. It's just the water thing. You know, I want to do the best I can as far as helping with some solutions, maybe for the runoff problem and the water issues. Here we have a situation where they're an industry. They can do so much to help themselves and to help our environment. This bridge here, there's another one just like it, just not too far, a quarter mile through another property. There are some pictures I took of that. You'll notice that this creek is moving, and it's 24/7 all the time. Right now it's getting overflow from Koch's pond and the rain runoff through the ditches and stuff. You can see there's excess runoff from their property, and there's a water meter outlet just there, and then a power pole. And this creek goes down and around that way. There's a lot of water through it. They have a cache pond right here, which I'll show you as I walk up this. And the cache pond is pretty good size. They also have a tremendous amount of land that's right around that pond. And that's back that way. I wish I could zoom at this point, but it's not letting me. And that all this land, and up that hill, and that hill, and this is a factory. I've seen the outside. They have, you can see those tanks back there. They have a water system. They have everything. I worked at Modon Trailer Manufacturer. We were pretty good size, and I was a robotics technician, programmer. They built them and maintenanced them, and just about every other piece of equipment in the plant. And they have what they need on their side. This activity that's happened with the rain, the water, and everything, and the water caching that they're doing, and all this land they have available, they can produce their bottom line, their cost expenses on producing power and using water and having a water backup quite a bit. They don't know how much, I don't know how much yet, but if my mind is doing the numbers right, just the preliminary stuff, it's significant. It's significant. The amount of power it takes to light that parking lot, the guard shack, security around the perimeter lighting, a whole bunch of things could be unloaded from the public service, from the company, and paid for. I don't know how much extra, but I'm thinking there's a lot extra they could use to add into their system. And like I said, they already have the equipment. They're already doing it. So it wouldn't be a big change from what their engineers and techs already know. There's their overflow pipe coming from their pond, and look at it, it's continuous. So it's getting seepage from around that area coming down slowly, steadily. I'm not sure if it ever would stop, because it might be a spring feeding that pond and feeding this creek. And here's the other side, and that's the creek going that way. It looks like maybe there's someone who owns that little piece of property in between. I don't know if I'll get to talk to them, but they've got a gold mine sitting right there in front of them. Not just for looking at, not just for pretty. And yes, it can be used. It is a falsehood that you cannot use the waterways to generate power, air pressure, mechanical pressure, water pressure, and use some of the water. There are rules though. If you abide by the rules, you do not even need a permit. You don't even have to tell them. And there's nothing anybody can do. It's federal, state, and no local code or government can take those rights away, as long as you obey the rules. As you can see, the amount of water. So here we're on the other side, and these streams up here in the lower mountains of Alabama, they have water all over the place. I've seen dozens that are not being used. They're 24/7 streams, plenty of water to do stuff for us. They're already pulling water from them for the municipal systems. They're already making use of it, but then, like in many places, I don't see it here. It looks a lot better here than other places. They will throw their rubble, their stone, debris, construction and stuff. They would just leave it in the waterways, and then turn right around and talk about the environment and all that kind of stuff. Well, this looks pretty cool. It doesn't look all messed up. We'll walk around a little bit and show you that this the road for this is to clear down that creek and not too far, but it may be 300 yards, I think, at least, and it's got a twist to it, so you could say that there's at least 300-400 yards of creek there, and it just depends on how much you can use, how much you excuse me, you've got height on this side and drop in elevation on that side. So that's going to give you what's called head, or the drop of the water. That gives you the pressure. Then look, you can see the flow. But I designed if you look on my YouTube page, Danny Ray Jewell, on my channel, I designed and built a shallow water paddle wheel that make use of that, creating water pressure, water flow, air pressure, air flow, and the paddle wheel creates the shaft, creates the mechanical that you can use, the torque. And just imagine how much torque is being produced by that. If I were to make wider paddles, it's not going to stop the water from flowing. It's not going to restrict. It doesn't have to be permanent. What I put in, it can be temporary. I can make it look pretty. Whatever. I can put it on the side of the creek, on the person, on the owner's property, and make use of the head from one point to another, and it'd be temporary. There are different ways to obey the law, not deal in any gray areas or push the rim, but do it right and make use of what exists. You make tomorrow a better day than what it was before you put it in for yourself. I'm not seeing anybody walking around, so I probably won't be able to talk to anybody on this property. They're probably not curious yet. If they do, I'll get the video back up and running. Well, that's about it, guys. I'm going to take and submit to Koch an idea to look into, and possibly me to be the old guy to consult and work with them on it through the process. Now that's a huge parking lot, and then they've got buildings way up there, and then they got all those roofs. That's quite a bit of water. I think if you look at some of my posts recently, or you do some of the math, that is a significant amount of water every time it rains. The waterfall in this area is about the same or a little higher than Martin County, Kentucky, and up in Virginia, where I come from. As the climate changes and we get more rain, more waterfall, more erosion, which is what's happening here. It's a type of saturation erosion, and you can't see it right now, but maybe when I was in the video down there, you could have saw how wet it was, and it hasn't rained for not to any significant degree, just little drips this morning, but it hasn't rained really since last night. So it's had 12 hours of no rain, this type of overcast. So sun really beaming. It came out a couple of times. So that's it, man. Now all that ground's saturated there. The top part of it's in places is getting to where you can walk on it without going goosh, goosh, goosh under your feet. And that's the end of this video, guys. American freedom on walkabout. Hey, y'all be free now. Okay, this is the other side of that I was showing you from Koch. Oh, allergies getting me again. Dust kicked up by these vehicles. All of a sudden got busy here. You can see that water's coming in from different places in here also, and that's the way it is all the way around here. So it's going under there, under the road again here. And in a moment I'll try and get over on the other side to show you about the other side. Hope they don't take out my vehicle back there, which is well off the road. You see that recess right there. I'll take and get over on that in just a moment. Beautiful country here. Gets to be emerald green. Not as good as in the mountains. Further up in the mountains. I can notice the difference, the vegetation, the things that are going on. And down there's the water main cover meter. Here's normal runoff underneath the road this way. Carrying it down. Here's the waterfall after the going under the road. You can see we already have a few feet drop just right there. Ah, guys, my nose is running over here now. So you can see the debris I was telling you about that might happen after construction and building and stuff. That's right there and in the waterway there. Left over from other bridges and such, or breaks, which there's a break right there, a wall made out of those pilings. There's more down the way I can see, but it's a winding creek, just like most places, and beautiful pines. Now the engineer I spoke to, maintenance engineer, he, like most people I've spoke to, is under the impression that they can't use the waterways. I've also been told by people that I believe the myth that you can't use rainwater runoff. Rain off your roof and stuff. It's not true. I don't think there's a single state that does that or attempts to do that, so it's a myth. Yes, you can use the waterways. Yes, it's public. Yes, there's public access down the side of the waterways. I don't know exactly how far. I think it has to do with the actual water, where it's at and all that. So if you're interested, I would check. All you have to do is ask questions. You can get with me. I can point you to the right place because I'll go find out. I'll ask questions, I get the answers, then I say, hey, go talk to them. You know, get it from the horse's mouth. We're not going to talk speculation or scuttlebutt. We're going to talk right on the money, truth, law, and everything else. I used to remember that the riparian laws are federal. States have laws also that go with the riparian law, water rights laws, access, all that kind of stuff. So there is work to do to the research, but that's not a no. That's a yes. If it's not denied, it's allowed. So one thing I know for sure right off the bat is that if it's not permanent, if you do not do anything permanent, and you do not take too much water from the waterway, let's say you're going to scoop enough off of your house. Well, I've shown in the map that all you need is a 1/8 inch pipe running water continuously from those continuous streams, and you got more than enough water for a family of 5 and stuff like that. If the water's running across the property, you got springs, then and you got rainfall and everything, you make use of that. You don't need municipal water. You don't need a well that you can't that you got to spend money on pumping out the electricity, all that kind of stuff. And there's my Blue Bullet sitting alongside the road. Still alive, it hadn't been hit yet. And me and my bad body taking a walk, doing the walk for you. Here's one of those runoffs from the springs and such that you can see. They're all over the place here. And from the rain, there's that sun. So I had those pictures. I may say a few more words, add on or something, but carbon footprint, all that kind of stuff, we could turn the tide on a heck of a lot of it by making use of what we already have. A tremendous amount of waterways. We don't need to stop them, kill them, pollute them, run them dry. We just touch them like a paddle in a paddle wheel, just long enough to use the power, use the energy, use the torque, create what we need. With the pump I created, with a pump I designed and built, you would even create air pressure. So for your pneumatic tools, for doing other things like your nail guns, all that kind of stuff for construction, build the containers, do, you know, it does nothing but work. You know, the idea, the logical next step. Well, catch you later, Bigger Freedom. Out! I'm on Walkabout Buddies.